to Earth, to Japan, he's a hero. Does that matter? You're right. This is easily the best argument for him not being a hero. If you've seen any of my JJK reactions, you know for sure my glorious king is Gojo Satoru. However, what I've noticed based on the YouTube sphere at least is a lot of people are like meh on Yuji, and I don't know why. I think Yuji's cool. I don't really have an issue with him, but a lot of people don't even think he's a hero. Maybe it's one of those philosophy kind of things versus like an actual objective take about the character. But let's just see why this guy thinks Yuji Itadori might not even be a hero. And also, let's see if you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the noti bell, become a member, follow the Twitch, all the promo stuff.
A common thematic question that plagues the main characters in Jujutsu Kaisen is the concept of a sorcerer.
This opening's gas, I know.
What is one supposed to do as a sorcerer? Are they heroes that stand for protecting the weak, or are they at the end of the day simply people who must be selfish and prideful in order to survive in this cruel world? One character who struggles with this balance more than anyone is none other than our protagonist, Yuji Itadori. One of Yuji's primary struggles throughout the series thus far is one of heroism versus shamanism. What is the line that he straddles? Is he himself a good person even though throughout his time as a sorcerer he's had to make sacrifices on his moral compass? Well, within the realm of this video, I'll be discussing, even with all of Yuji's desire to save others, is Yuji Itadori a hero? What is heroism?
If I had to answer this question before he gets into it, would I say Yuji is a hero or not? I think Yuji is more of a good person than a bad person. And if that is what makes a hero, and I see he's about to talk about what heroism is, I would say, yeah, Yuji's more of a morally just good person. I'll save a life if I can save the lifetime type of guy. I don't think he's like so nonchalantly or selfish in his desires to the point where I wouldn't classify him here. I would say he's more of a hero than he's not, but I need to see the logic behind it.
The concept of heroism in and of itself is a very, very tricky idea. The ideal version of a hero may vary from person to person, and because of this very definition of heroism, this makes it very hard to pinpoint a middle ground that most can agree on. Some perceive heroes as strong people who save others. Some say if you fight villains, you are a hero by default. And there are an infinite amount of ways that a hero can be defined by each person's own upbringing and moral compass. My personal definition of a hero, and one that I'll be operating under during this discussion, is this. A hero is a person who is truly and wholeheartedly altruistic in their actions. In order to be an altruistic person, one must selflessly give without goal of return or reward for the sake of improving one's personal well-being and lessen others' suffering. Simply put, altruism is the pinnacle of being selfless and giving to others.
Right.
Applying this to Yuji Itadori results in a seemingly simple conclusion. But before this conclusion is drawn, let's peer back at Yuji's initial motivations that kick-started this journey into the sorcerer-filled world. In Chapter 1 of the series, Yuji's grandfather gives him the core of his initial ideology moving forward. Because Yuji is strong, his grandfather encourages him to help people. He wants better for his grandson than to be dying with only one person by his side. And as such, helping people is a surefire way to make sure that he never dies in this fashion. Yuji takes this and runs with it, which leads him to consuming Sukuna's finger and becoming the vessel of the King of Curses himself. Now, just based off of this, you may be led to believe that Yuji is a very clearly and distinctly heroic figure. However, just like most well-written characters, there's a bit more nuance to him as a human being than what we see initially. After meeting Principal Yaga, Yuji's ideals are tested strongly for the very first time. As one of his puppets is wailing on Yuji, Yaga interrogates him, asking him exactly why he has decided to become a sorcerer in the first place. As Yuji continues to push the burden of his possible death onto his grandfather, who was the inspiration for everything up to this point, we see that Yaga is pressing him, pushing him, and making sure that Yuji has to—
Yo, this little Winnie the Pooh shit was pissing me off. I don't know what about this scene was making me mad for the first time when I was watching it. But I was just like, yo, why is this like walking tough-ass Care Bear pressing my glorious MC like this?
Acknowledges ideology. And after Yaga makes Yuji realize that he has to take it on and take responsibility for his own actions from this point forward, we get a bit of introspection into what makes Yuji tick.
Damn! Is this something that he's going to say disqualifies him as a hero? Because I wouldn't say that disqualifies him. I think at that point, you would have to be so obnoxiously selfless to be considered a hero. Like, for example, Goku, I can understand saying Goku's not a hero. But, like, if you're just a regular person on Earth, he's a hero. If you're Krillin, he's a hero. Naruto, I ain't gonna lie, Naruto's just a hero. Naruto, I would classify as a hero. Naruto, he does have some desires for himself, but for the most part, Naruto is like the goody two shoes of all the anime that I've watched. But then you have characters like Gon, for example. Gon would be a fantastic character of a person who I don't necessarily think is a hero. Gon not a hero at all. Gon has like a good moral compass, but hero? That nigga ain't no damn hero unless he saved your specific life. So I guess that then asks the question, from what point of view is Yuji a hero or not? But let's continue the video.
Now, this specific scene, this excerpt makes us realize a few things about Yuji. One, Yuji's heroic actions are not completely selfless in nature. While he did consume Sukuna's finger without hesitation in order to save Megumi, when talking to Yaga, it becomes clear that by saving people with his strength, he derives a sense of purpose and enjoyment. If you remember correctly previously, I defined altruism as saving others and being selfless without goal of return or reward. Keep that in the back of your mind, as this will be prevalent throughout the entirety of this video. In any case, if he were to ignore his talents and simply live his life as he would have before meeting Megumi, knowing that he could save people, this would haunt Yuji and ruin his ability to fulfill his supposed purpose. I think that what we see in Yuji here is not a sense of true altruism or heroism like you'd expect from a Superman or even Deku, but more of a savior complex, or more appropriate to the context of this video, a hero complex.
That's interesting.
A hero complex, for all those who don't know, is essentially a condition in which someone feels that they need to save everyone and be the stereotypical hero in any dangerous situation. I think what Yuji naively believed this early in the series is that his own strength and power is great enough to be the hero that he envisions within his mind. However, as the audience and Yuji soon come to realize, he is not able to shoulder these burdens alone at his current physical and mental state. And
yeah, so with the then question for this mindset, because I don't want to trailblaze too far off, right? I don't want a fucking 90-minute reaction. I guess my question for you would then be, does having a hero complex disqualify you from being a hero? If you're still doing these heroic things, and by nature you're technically not a heroic person, but you take part in heroic actions time in and time out, does that make you not a hero? You see what I'm saying? What's an example? Like, if I fix every light in every house ever, and all you have to do is call me to fix all those lights, but I never went to college, does that not make me an electrician, or does that make me the best electrician in the world? You see what I'm saying? And maybe that's not the best example, but I feel like you guys know what I'm trying to ask. So this is an interesting conversation altogether, and I think it's just a matter of if he's going to take that left turn or that right turn on every single one of these questions.
He is certainly not strong enough or truthful enough with himself to keep up with this very ideological viewpoint.
But I will say, while he's transitioning, I'm glad that he's not arguing that Yuji doesn't do heroic things. If we're going to sit here and say Yuji doesn't do heroic shit, then all right, bro. Now we are just chatting. I appreciate that he's just questioning Yuji's motives behind all of these heroic actions and not, hey, is this action really even heroic? He might do that later down the line, but so far, especially in season 1 for the most part, he's just like a good guy. He's a good fucking guy.
In episode 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara go on their first mission as a unit. By all imagination of both the characters and us, the viewers, this was not meant to completely destroy our main characters in the way that it did. Within the span of just a few minutes of the mission starting, Nobara is taken away by a random curse. Megumi is forced to run away in order to save himself and Nobara, and Yuji's hand is taken clean off, as well as him being mentally broken down. Yep. Now, the reason for Yuji's complete and total breakdown is rather simple. Yuji had an ideal mental picture of what it took to be a Jujutsu sorcerer, and he also had a mental image of just how strong he truly was. Both of these images, both of these preconceived notions were dead wrong. He drastically underrated the strain and stress of being a Jujutsu sorcerer, both physically and mentally, and he also drastically overrated his mental fortitude and the power behind his fists. This is why, as he's attempting to hold off the special grade finger bearer's attack, he asked the question, was I really this weak? This question is the internal realization that Yuji has, where he comes to terms with, at this point, He is a complete failure. The facade of his strength was completely broken, and so was his body, which forced him to give up his body to Sukuna and inadvertently cause his own temporary death. This is the first of many failures that Yuji experiences as his time as a sorcerer. By the hands of Mahito, he loses Junpei and actually loses a piece of his own ideology when he is forced to kill a person due to Mahito for the first time. And while there are several other failures that apply to himself, I think what is really important for answering the question of this video is finding the response to the many failures that he experienced.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, when I thought that nigga Yuji died in season 1, sorry that you guys didn't get that reaction, but it was years ago. Dog, I was like, I thought he was done. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I'm gullible sometimes. I thought he was gone. All right. And especially as a person that watched season 2, now within watching back season 1 up, now it's definitely believable that that motherfucker could have died. Anybody dies in this fucking show. So what happens now? Like, is it Sasuke's turn or some shit like that? Or like, is Sukuna just back and he's just a permanent op now type shit? So I definitely thought he was blicked. I don't know why I'm going down this random tangent, but I definitely, for a minute, I ain't gonna lie, I thought bro was actually like dead.
There is a very particular scene in Jujutsu Kaisen that no matter how many times I watch it, no matter how many times I read it, I still get chills because of how amazingly this portrays Yuji's struggle as a character and as someone who once perceived himself as a hero.
Talk to me.
In episode 12, during his first confrontation with Mahito, Junpei is killed before his very eyes. And as he desperately pleads and begs Sukuna for help, basically desiring to give up everything that he can in order to save him, Sukuna simply refuses.
Yep.
This refusal is a shock to Yuji's system, as Junpei, the kid who he grew to care about and wanted to save, dies, not even completely human anymore, in his arms, asking Yuji why this had to happen to him. To make matters worse, Sukuna and Mahito see the anguish on Yuji's face and the tragedy of
laughing at nigga
and laugh at Yuji. Both Mahito and Sukuna shriek with the cruel joy as Yuji
that shit
stands
was
there,
so
stunned.
crazy, bro. Like, that shit was so fucked, bro. I forgot about this scene, but they really laughed that boy the fuck out. And it's not even this image. It's really this image that was like, yo, this nigga Sukuna's a fucking dick.
Breaking. And it is here where Yuji is reminded of the cruelty of the world that he lives in. And he seemingly remembers that these things, these creatures, are not human. They are curses. And as a sorcerer, they are his mortal enemy. And this leads to one of my favorite lines, not only in Jujutsu Kaisen, but honestly in anime and manga as a whole. And in order for you to get to the full effect, instead of quoting it myself, I'll simply play the clip.
Talk to me. Hey, before he says whatever line he says, just want to say, man, I saw some of you guys comment, English. It's a double. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Gotta piss y'all off with that, man. I don't really care. Sub, dub, whatever, man. I've never been this guy that hates English, considering I speak English, but at the same time, I understand the intensity of sub and all that shit like that. I kind of just fuck with my chat, fuck with you guys when I watch it in dub, because I'll go back and watch the shit in sub. I don't really care, but I see you guys care all the time. And I'm just going on this tangent just to ask, for all my subbers out there, do you guys even think there's a good dub ever? Because I've never seen someone react. And while I know for a fact some of you guys are going to name a show and say, oh yeah, for sure, there's certain dubs that are out there, I've never seen someone react to a dub or someone watch a dub in the comment section is, oh yeah, this joint is nice. Oh yeah, this joint's fire. I've never fucking seen it. You may get an actor or two, but like the whole show, better and sub at all times. I've never seen a comment section or an anime that was dubbed literally get its flowers. I haven't ever seen it. I don't know. Okay. No balls, you won't do it.
This entire interaction is really amazing and spectacularly well done. But there's a specific line that I'd like to hone in on that I just played. The next words that spilled from my lips came from so deep within me that it made everything else I've ever said feel like a lie. I will kill you. This line not only displays the entirety of Yuji's emotional turmoil and rage, but it also has a much deeper meaning to it. This line foreshadows Yuji's development over 100 chapters later in the Shibuya incident arc. What Yuji is saying here is that the meaning behind these words hold much more truth and weight to them than anything else he's ever said.
Yep.
Any altruism, any heroism, any airs of goodness or morality that Yuji has or thinks that he has are contradicted by the pure and utter desire to murder Mahito that consumed his entire being in this instance.
Yep. And on top of that, he kind of doubles down on that shit. He kind of doubles down crazy. I don't know if he's going to talk about it in this video, but he doubles down like hell with that speech that had Mahito crying in the car running to ghetto. But yeah, when he's crying in the car running to Buddy, Yuji lost his shit, and I'm literally reacting to it in the moment. I'm like, Yuji, everything okay there? So I guess what I'll ask, and I was going to wait till the end of the video, does this disqualify him as a hero? To me, I would say no, only because yes, he has his own desires and ambitions behind what he's doing in terms of Mahito specifically, but I don't think that erases all of what he wants to, tries to, and even does as well. When he's out there really trying to save anybody that he meets for more than 5 minutes, they become his fucking best friend apparently. I think he has too many heroic attributes and tries and does, let alone tries and does too many heroic things for me to DQ it because of a selfish ambition that he has for Mahito and maybe curses specifically. Now, if you're gonna say, well, Sage, they're all curses, so by virtue, this is all selfish. Heroes aren't selfish. He's not a hero. I understand that argument. I would just disagree because at that point, what he just has to like beat up burglars or something. And I'm pretty sure if he saw a kid getting mugged, he would be like, back up. So I'm still on the fence. I do appreciate and understand this logic though. And maybe I'm dead wrong. I know y'all are going to type it up. I don't think it's that deep. We can obviously disagree in the comment section. You can also like the video and subscribe to the channel. But all shit aside, I see where he's coming from. I really do.
His true purpose, his true calling was subconsciously realized here. Kill curses, destroy them, exorcise them. That is what Mahito truly makes him understand, albeit this is something Yuji doesn't take to heart until the latest part of the Shibuya incident arc, which I'll be talking about moving forward. Keep in mind that from this point on, I will be diving into Jujutsu Kaisen manga spoilers. So if you want to hear my verdict on the topic without spoilers and a very spoiler-neutral area,
shout out the team, man. We are good to go. I know some of you guys heard that and freaked the fuck out, but I will say this, JJK niggas, why ain't y'all even like my boy right here? In fact, I'm liking this video for this, gangy, because I ain't gonna lie. You niggas every day on Twitter, I had to mute hashtag JJK, Gojo, Yuji, Naruto even. Like, why I gotta mute Naruto to dodge JJK spoilers? I don't fucking know. Oh my God, y'all are just, I thought the One Piece niggas was bad. I gotta concede One Piece niggas, as annoying as y'all are with spoilers, just spoilers, because I still think y'all are the crayon eaters of all anime. But like in terms of just spoiling the show, JJK niggas got to be number one. It's crazy.
Skip to this timestamp where I will be past talking about the manga. But in any case, it's time to discuss the finality of Yuji's arc up to this point in the series. In the Shibuya incident arc, Yuji's misconceptions on who he is or what his purpose is within the current structure of the Jujutsu Kaisen world are snuffed out completely. There are two core instances in which Yuji not only physically, but ideologically changes quite a bit. The first major change in Yuji's mindset stems from his fight with Choso. This is a very poetic kind of development for Yuji because we know that Choso is Yuji's older brother now, so for him to play such a major part in Yuji's development as a character is very interesting. In any case, it is during this fight when Yuji comes to terms with two very different yet equally scary topics. The first one is that Yuji is okay with death. Whereas before, when faced with death from the Finger Bearer curse, Yuji was completely terrified of it and desperately pleaded for the ability to continue living. Now, after all of the struggle, all of the failure, and all of the turmoil that he had gone through in between these two instances, this has helped Yuji grow and develop as a person. Now, when faced with an attack that pierces his liver, which in his mind could possibly lead to death, Yuji is perfectly fine with death as a concept because he's started to grasp his role in all of this. The concept of his role blends very nicely with the acceptance that he does not have to be the one who survives Shibuya and saves Gojo. This is the time he is able to break away from his hero complex, from the savior complex, from the idea that he has to be the one to save everyone. Understanding that his...
So that's a good thing then, ain't it? I would say that definitely, that adds on to being a hero, right? I assume that's what he's saying as well, but that would add on to you being a better or truer hero, per se.
Purpose in every mission might not be so grand and important, and realizing that sometimes it's okay to handle a seemingly small task if it helps his allies move closer towards their goal of saving Gojo. Now, while this is a very impressive development for Yuji, it really comes to its climax in chapter 132 after Yuji and Todo defeat Mahito's true form, and it is in this chapter Yuji makes an extremely interesting and iconic statement. I am you.
Yep.
I wanted to reject you, convince myself that you were wrong, but that doesn't matter now. I'm gonna kill you. Even if you come back as another curse, I'm gonna kill you. Change your name, change your form, I'll kill you again.
Type shit.
I don't need to find meaning or reason. Maybe 100 years after my death, my actions will become apparent. In the grand scheme of things, I'm probably nothing more than a cog. But I'll keep killing curses for as long as I can. That is my role in all of this.
Nah, he crashes the fuck out here.
This monologue is perfect. The tone, the coldness in Yuji's words, the fear in Mahito's eyes, and the development that this forces Yuji to take is simply spectacular. The impact of this statement for Yuji's character is almost immeasurable. The fact that in these 2 pages of monologue, Yuji comes to terms with the fact that in comparison to the scope of the world that he inhabits, he is not that special, tied in with the fact that in order to fulfill his job, he genuinely does not require a purpose or reason in his actions, all completely wrapped up in the fact that he's becoming less and less human, less and less heroic in every word that he speeds towards Mahito, is the culmination of all that development, the pain, the suffering, the understanding, and finally the acceptance of what it means to be a sorcerer. So, to answer the initial...
Yeah, this is the best argument for him not being a hero. I was waiting until this part. This is easily the best argument for him not being a hero. And I'll admit, it's a tough one for me to make in terms to say, yeah, he still is. Because Yuji not only crashes out here, but he really does flagrantly in 4K pretty much say, you're right. You just gonna kill humans before the fuck of it? I'm just gonna kill curses. That's just what we were born to do, gang. So if you come back as a different curse, I'm gonna kill you. It might be your brother, but kill him. He literally is saying it's not even about being a good person, to hell with it. I'm just like you, who at one point in time he would presume and view as in the epitome of evil. So the idea that he would even say I'm you, that enough is a damn good, if not truly the potential definitive argument for him not being a hero. My question above all this, does that DQ him, is does that matter? Does the statement of him saying these are my motives, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, take away from the fact that to Earth, to Japan, he's a hero. To any person that cannot fight curses, Yuji's a hero. To like a bunch of these people, and in hindsight, curses are only here to just fuck and kill with people. But then I could even say, to be fair, it'd be somewhat hypocritical for me to say that Yuji is a hero, but then Goku isn't, because Goku is in a similar like path of like, yeah, I guess he's killing Majin Buu. I guess he's killing Cell, who would blow up the planet, but we know why Goku's doing what he's doing. I'm not mad at this argument. I'm literally 50-50 to be very honest with you, but I know you guys are going to want a definitive answer. So 51-49, I say he is more of a hero than a guy like Goku, let alone in general would I say he's a hero, but I truly do understand the other side. Hell, we might upload this video and you might see in the pinned comments that, yeah, bro, I changed my mind. Because that's how close this is for me. It's an interesting conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Deadass.
The question that started this video in its entirety. Is Yuji Itadori a hero? No. Yuji, as we know now, is not a hero by any stretch of the imagination. It's arguable that even in the beginning of the series, before he was tainted with the pain and sorrow of being Sukuna's vessel, he wasn't even a hero. Just like every other
before the vessel, yeah, nah.
Sorcerer, or otherwise, Yuji Itadori is no more of a hero than anyone else. He is simply a person put in strenuous circumstances that has come to understand just how insignificant and unimportant they really are. If anything, Yuji Itadori is a sorcerer.
So I hear that. I hear that. Final claim literally would be, are sorcerers by definition of this universe seen as the heroes? That pretty much just sums it up. Let me know your thoughts though. Very good video, actually. Very, very, very good video. Obviously, do what I'm about to do. Like the video. If you want to see more reactions by Broken Ronin, I don't know how to say it. Subscribe to the channel. Do those for my channel. Shout out to you, gangy. Fire video. Take care, stay blessed, and I'm gonna see you all next time.